Good morning and welcome to another general tarot reading aimed at guiding you and me through the coming week. I'm Kat and this reading is for the week of November 3rd, I'm pretty sure. As always, my goal is to shed some light on the week ahead and evaluate where our choices can lie, and to ensure that when things pop up with that, we have some extra information that we can use to help us. So this week, I'm going to use the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, and I've only had this deck for a very little while. Haven't used it much at all. I do like it though. So since this deck and I are more or less strangers, I'm going to rely on the guidebook, I think, a little bit. But really, I think the best way to learn a deck is to kind of establish a relationship with it and use it. So what the heck, right? Bust open the book. So I have to say, I have a bit of a hard time shuffling this deck. I don't think it's the shape of the cards. I think it's the cardstock. It's like a little bit on the sticky side, but hopefully it'll get easier as they get used more. So I'm going to use the same 3 positions for this reading that I do all the time, even though this is an archetype deck. I think that these cards will work nicely. I've tried it a couple of times and it worked well. And I did have them separated into the 4 categories that they come in, but for this spread, I really wanted all the cards to have a chance to speak, so I shuffled everything up. I'm going to take these out of the way. When I talk about the 4 categories, I think there's the selves, the places, the tools, and the initiations, I'm pretty sure is the last one. So that's the way the cards are separated when they come in the box. And I shuffled them up because I really didn't want to stop any of them from coming through for this particular reading. So when I'm done, I'm going to separate them all again. Because there's a really cool spread included in the guidebook that I want to do for a friend. So maybe if she's good with it, I'll record it and post it here because I'm going to be sending it to her as a video anyway. So hopefully she'll be good with that. It looks like a really interesting spread. Okay, so in the position of energy, we have the gem. And instantly when I look at this card, I think about the beauty that's created, deep within the earth, like when gems are created, that whole carbon process. I think of really tough material, like diamonds being really strong and tough and durable. So let's see what words we get from the guidebook. And this is the gem, 177. The diamond, the gold, the inner treasure. So here I feel that our energy this week should really be one where we draw on our own strength and perseverance. So we should allow ourselves to feel strong and independent so that we can meet whatever challenges come our way this week, and really dig deep to find that what's the word I want here? the power that we all have, that sometimes we don't realize we have until we really need it. I think a lot of the time we don't really give ourselves enough credit for that inner strength that we have. And sometimes we automatically assume that something's too hard or too difficult, that we can't do it, and we can't overcome it. And in reality, we've got the strength to do it. We just need to find that strength. So that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about here. Okay, card number 2 is for opportunities. And we have the bridge, which is kind of cool. First of all, the image on this card is pretty interesting because I feel like, when you see a bridge lit up at night, and like the bridges that cross over water and then the lights are reflected in the water below, that's what it makes me think of. And then, the connection between water and emotions. So the two hands could be the bridge between two people in, well, any number of ways, right? It could be helping each other, standing up for someone, or supporting them. I think I'm going to check the book. So that's my original, that's my kind of gut feeling when I look at that card. But let's just check. 139. Just a second here. I just want to look at the keywords that she gives you. So the bridge, the connection, the link, the gate. So I'm pretty close there. So my first feeling is my first feeling is to say that this is a connection between people and between opportunities, like the opportunities that link people together in a way that calls upon our strengths and makes us realize that we need to use those deep strengths that we all have. So I don't know, maybe an example might be interviewing for a new job, right? Or working towards maybe a business contract for freelancers, or overcoming really painful shyness or something like that. But it could also be along the lines of trying something new or going somewhere new and having to rely and depend on our own, our own smarts, our own wits, our own street sense to succeed or make a go of it. Another option could be connecting different aspects of our lives and bringing them together and making them mesh. I mean, there's so many possibilities here, but I have to say that I think that the strong energies that we're going to focus on will definitely help us build the connections and gateways between people and things. I think we just really need to keep an eye open for those opportunities that our strengths can really help us out with. So, number 3 is outcomes. And we have, the mountain. I'm pretty sure that this is the card that Kim Kranz, who's the creator of the deck, wrote about in her introduction to the book. I'll have to go back and check that later, but I'm not going to do it now because I don't want that to interfere with what we're doing here. So for now, when I think of the mountain in this position, I think of hard work. I think of challenges and dedication. The image on the card really makes me think of the fire inside us that motivates us. But the other thing that comes to mind is the feeling of getting lost inside something that can seem too hard or too big to tackle by ourselves or just in general. So let's go back and check the guidebook, because that's what we get them for, right? So that's 129. Okay, so the ascent, the peak, and the insurmountable. So, I see this as almost twofold. On one hand, this can be the thing that beats us. It can be the thing that's just too hard for us, or that we believe is too hard for us. Not really too hard, but we see it as too hard. It's like an illusion. It's not really true, but that's the way we perceive it to be. So, and we don't think we have the power to overcome it, and we don't think we have the resources or the support to overcome it. We can look at it and almost get paralyzed because we don't think that we can do it. Or on the other hand, we can look at it instead as a challenge that lays in the path of our success, like something that we need to overcome, we need to tackle and beat it. So in one instance, you think, it's too big, it's too much. But then on the other hand, you think, that's the thing that I need to overcome and I'm going to do it. So really, I think it's all in your mindset and that, telling yourself. It's like the words that you use. It's the inner dialogue that you use. So I think the guy inside the mountain can either see himself as alone and powerless, or strong and capable and able to rein in his strengths and use all his opportunities to achieve the successes that he wants to build himself up with. I sometimes think, in this day and age especially, that a lot of people have lost that spark of competitiveness and just feel defeated or feel like they're owed things. And I think this week we just need to make sure that we're using everything that comes our way to our advantage, like use everything as a tool. So when I think back to the things that I've overcome personally and that I really had to work hard at, to either achieve or to overcome, I see a person who's a lot stronger than I realize sometimes. And maybe that's the key, right? Like you have to look back at the times when you kicked ass to remember and realize that you really can kick ass. So one more thing here. Let's throw in an oracle card from the Animal Spirit deck. And I kind of hope it's a fire card, because I feel like that would kind of go nicely with the mountain, but who knows what's going to come up. Okay, so we have the Serpent. So not a fire card, but this is one of the spirit cards, and that can only be good, right? So this card, this is one that I've always remembered well because I found it to be really meaningful. So it talks about moving our energy in ways that's going to help us move forward and balance our lives in a healthy way. And I see the sea serpent as one of those guardian cards, if that makes sense. Like she wraps herself around herself or around what's in the middle and then surrounds it with love. And she can be loving and she can heal and she can be strong and deliberate when she needs to be. And really, I think those are also the strengths that we can use all of the time, especially when we're facing something that seems extra challenging or insurmountable, as the guidebook says. That's, I think, is a nice card to get at the end of this reading. So, with these 3 wild unknown decks, I feel like you could do any type of reading you want here. So there you go. I feel like this archetype deck worked really well for this reading, and I'm really looking forward to trying out some other things. I know I've said this before, but I just really like this artwork. It's just really down to earth. It's not it's just really simple and nice. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I hope that you got something positive out of it that you can work with this week. So come back next weekend for another reading. Feel free to check out anything on my channel, and until then, see ya.